Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. I couldn't pronounce hello everybody this time, so anyway, so let me do that again. Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. So this time, what I'd like to talk about is ask experts for fighting against ghosts. So this time is a possessed houses or haunted houses, stuff like them actually. So maybe I think your country has some tenements possessed or haunted by some evil spirits or bad spirits or bad ghosts or not people stuff like them actually. So so of course ghosts are dead people to start with, or generally speaking. So if you pass away with some kind of strong emotion, you may become a ghost, stuff like that. So which is why there's a possibility that you possess some house or some tenement, because you have some strong feelings against those tenements or those houses. Such kind of thing may occur in the future. Anyway, so this time I put yourselves into the shoes of ghosts, but actually, so anyway, so I don't think most of you should think about such a thing. So, but actually, this time is about how to fight against the ghosts. And so let me tell you the conclusion before actually speaking out the details of this episode. So the conclusion is, when it comes to handling important stuff, you should ask experts for advices and services. So anyway, so there's a, how should I say? Maybe I'd like to introduce a proverb of my country, and the proverb of my country is mochi wa mochi ya. So mochi, and this is a lecture of Japanese language, but so mochi is a food or Japanese cuisine, and that is a sticky rice, and that is a food, but actually, so maybe the closest stuff to that food is slime or something like that. Or jelly can be really similar to mochi, and mochi. But actually, so in my perspective, mochi is stickier or more sticky food than jellies or slimes. Of course, I don't know whether slime is edible or not. But actually, so maybe some slime is eatable, but others aren't. Maybe when it comes to slimes, when it comes to the types of slimes, so maybe whether eatable or whether or which one is eatable or which one is not, is stuff like that, which is my understanding. And anyway, so mochi is a Japanese cuisine, which is a sticky rice, and really close to jelly. And wa is, please understand wa means is, and mochiya is a mochi shop or some kind of food shops, specially or exclusively supplying mochi to, for example, to customers. Please imagine such a thing. Mochiya is a food shop or mochi shop or food shop. When it comes to understanding food shop. So that food shop is a type of food shop supplying mochi to to customers, stuff like that. So summing up those words into a coherent understanding. So mochiwa mochiya is so mochiwa mochiya is, if you ask for mochi, you should go to mochi shop, which is a literal meaning of that proverb. But the proverb doesn't end on the case only on the case of a mochi shop. So of course there is a general meaning, which is, if you ask for some if you'd like to do something, you should ask the specialists of that field, which is the meaning of that proverb. So I'm going to tell you again. So if you have some problem, or if you have some works to do in a particular field, so you should ask the you should ask the expert, or you should ask the professional people of that field, which is the meaning of that proverb. So anyway, so as I said, so this episode is about how to fight against ghosts. So for example, so I don't think you need some expert advice when it comes to, for example, cooking, or when it comes to cutting your hair. For example, so I can cut my own hair on my head, but actually, so if you have some skills for cutting your hair on the head, or adjusting or styling the hair on your head, so it's fine. If you can do that by yourself, you should. It's fine to do. It's fine to cut your hair and style your hair by yourself, or by yourselves. But actually, so if you do not have such a skills for cutting your hair, or styling the hair on your heads, so you should go to barbers, or you should go to hair salons, no, beauty salons, for styling and cutting your own hair on the heads, which is my this is my opinion. But actually, so haircut or styling hair is not so a big deal. See, prioritizing many things to do. And of course, I can cook by myself, which is why, which is why I do not have to go outside for you know for eating, just for eating. So I do not have to go to restaurants, and I do not have to go to other places for having meals, because I can cook by myself. And when it comes to cooking, maybe there are many people who can cook by themselves, and but actually, if you there are some people who can't cook by themselves. So if you can't cook by yourselves, or if you can't cook by yourselves, it's fine for you to go to other places. For example, it's fine to go to restaurants for eating foods, and it's an option. But it's an option. And if you can't cook by yourselves, or by yourself, it's fine to go to restaurant for eating foods, or having meals. But you can do by yourselves when it comes to cooking, or cutting hair, or styling hair. But actually, so when it comes to, or if you happen to get into a situation where you have to fight against the ghost, for example, so I have I have told you this episodes before, or months before, that there are some haunted tenements, or possessed tenements in my country. So maybe there's a maybe if you go to, if you maybe there is a possibility that you come to live in such haunted, or possessed places, or possessed tenements. And in such a case, you may come you may come to face a situation in which you have to fight against some ghosts possessing or haunting the tenements you live in. For example, such a situation may happen to you in the future. But if you incur such a situations, or if you incur such circumstances, so I recommend you asking asking experts, or professionals for exorcising services, or fighting against ghosts, or bad spirits. So I said exorcising, or exorcisms. But actually, so so when it comes to exorcisms, so exorcism is really important for you, because so exorcism this is a case of my country, but actually, so exorcism is really difficult, and amateurs shouldn't do such an exhausting businesses by themselves, because this is a case of my country. For example, in the case of my in my in a case of my country, so people use salt, or people create some people create stacks of salts, and a stack of salt is said to be is said to be good for kicking out such bad spirits or ghosts, and people create some stacks of salts for for protecting themselves, but actually, so but actually, it, one of the most important things for creating stacks of salt is like, so you have to put, if you create, for example, if you create four stacks of salt, so you have to place those four stacks of salt clockwisely. So to start with, you have to, please imagine that you place those stacks of salt squarely, for example. So please imagine please imagine that you place a stack in your corner of the room, and you have to, and each four corner has a stack of salt, which is a situation I'd like you to imagine. So like which and so and when putting those stacks of salt, so you have to place those stacks of salt clockwise. Well, if you place those stacks of salt anti-clockwise or anti-clockwise, so that works adversely, which means, so which means the space surrounded by those stacks of salt become really a dangerous place, where there's no blocking powers, or blocking forces kicking ghosts out of that field. Or rather, it can be said that such a place can invite or introduce a lot of dangerous ghosts, which is said when it comes to placing the stacks of salt anti-clockwise. So it's necessary to place or set the stacks of salt clockwise. And like which, so I just supposed, or I just told you an example of exorcisms of my country, but actually, so like which, there are many complicated stuff when it comes to exorcisms. So which is why, if you come to need some exorcising services, so you should ask some exorcists who are specialists, or pros, or professional people for fighting, for dealing with ghosts or ghost related stuff, or for they are exorcists are professional people, or pure professional people, or experts for fighting against those bad spirits or evil ghosts. Which is why, if, as I told you, if you come to need some, so exorcising, or if you come to need some services fighting against ghosts, or dealing with, handling with bad spirits, or evil spirits, so I recommend you asking exorcists for such services, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So coming back to the original topic or title of this episode. So the title is Ask Experts for Fighting Against Ghosts. So when it comes to handling the important stuff, you should ask experts for advices and services. So of course, this possessed or haunted tenements is one of the examples of important things. So there are many important things. There are many important things other than exorcisms. But so, but if you face some important situations, or if you have some problems, in the fields of important things, for example. So I recommend you asking experts for the services tackling such problems, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So some people want to handle the situations in front of themselves by themselves, but actually when it comes to important situations or important circumstances, such actions like tackling those problems or troubles by themselves, by amateurs themselves, can be really dangerous. Which is why I recommend you asking the advices of experts or professionals in difficult situations or in difficult fields. And finally, let me correct a mistake. So I mistakenly I said exhausite, but actually exhausite is a wrong verb for explaining explaining the practices or the businesses of exorcisms or exorcist. But actually, the correct verb is exercise. Exercise is the correct verb for explaining the practices or the businesses of exorcisms and exorcists. So exorcite is a wrong one, or exorcite is wrong. And please understand, exercise is the correct verb for exorcisms and exorcists. Please understand them in that manner. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.